welcome to the Team Serenity channel. I am Pop-Tarts and Rock and Roll, also known as He is Cookie, and today is my blog. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any coffee in me. Kind of running out on coffee, so hopefully the momentum might make me a little goofy. I was supposed to do the vlog Friday. I've been kind of sleeping a lot, so I didn't do it. Yeah, it's almost close to Sunday. Well, actually, it's half an hour away from Sunday. But now I'm doing my vlog, and this week is about dreams. What dreams have you had that are worth talking about it? I've had some pretty fucked up dreams, to be honest. Very first dream I'm going to tell you about is one that my mom and my sister like to try and tell people, but I stopped them from doing it because I am ultimately embarrassed by it. And hopefully by telling you guys about this, I'm going to finally be okay with it. It's not going to embarrass me anymore. It's not going to be something that I have to feel some kind of shame from. I don't really know if I should feel any shame from it. You guys can see what you think about it. And if you're wondering what this is right here, I have my timer on it, so I don't go past the time. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. It's really funny because of what I dreamed about when I was like 3 years old or something like that. I forget what age it was, but I was still just a toddler when I dreamt about this. And the weirdest thing is, like, I should not have dreamt about it. It makes no sense. It really doesn't. But, bear with me. This is really hard to talk about, because just, like, I can't believe I dreamt of something like this being so young. And then, okay. Let me try my best to get to it. One time I dreamt when I was 3, 4, 5 years old, somewhere around there. I had this dream where I was on my bunk bed. I was on the top bunk. My sister's on the bottom bunk. I was like in this black void, okay? And suddenly, like, a door pops open and, like, these really kind of, like, fanatical women just start, like, coming down in a line. And they're, like, jumping and bouncing around, but not, like, all over the place. Just, like, they're walking around in a line, following one after the other. And they were all naked. So, I'm 3, 4 years old, dreaming of naked women. Now, some people might be saying, oh man, he's awesome, 3, 4 years old dreaming of naked women, but you have to understand, that confused the fuck out of me. And especially now that I'm older, I look back and it's like, okay, why did I dream about that? Because I had no idea what the anatomy of a woman even looked like. I've never looked at naked pictures then. So it's just really weird that I would dream about that. And then in one part of the dream, they were circling my bunk bed in this black void, and one of them was on top of me. I don't know whether or not I could say she was having sex, but she was whipping her hair back and forth like that on me. So, and they were all older, mature women with very nice bodies, and I imagine every single one of them with big breasts. Yes, I like big boobs, as I said that in another video. But what makes this story even more interesting is the fact that now I didn't know what to think of this being so young, and when I was on a camping trip, I told this story to everyone thoughtlessly, not even knowing exactly what I was telling people, and they're all laughing, understandably. Everybody who is older than me that I'm telling this to is laughing their ass off at my wet dream. I can understand the humor in it, but it embarrasses me. I don't know if I really even have a reason to be embarrassed, but I am, though. And I also had some dreams where I was playing a frog, yes, a frog, at a game of poker, or, yeah, poker. And whoever lost had to jump off a cliff. First I lost and had to jump off, but I don't know, for some odd reason I came back and I played the frog again, and frog lost. And I woke up. I also had two dreams where I dreamt of falling while I actually was falling, and when I hit the ground, I would wake up in my dream, and also I would wake up in real life, so I didn't really know where I was at, whether I was in a dream or in real life. Confusing stuff like that has happened to me. And another dream I had, this was actually a very scary dream. This is about maybe a year after my father passed away. And by father, I don't mean my biological father. I actually mean my stepfather, who I consider my real father because he treated me better after he turned his life around, better than my real father ever did. Anyway, we were in the middle of moving at the time, and I imagined, and in my room, and in my dream, I imagined my room as exactly as it was before I fell asleep. All I really had in it was a dresser. There was some stuff laying on the ground, and my bed was in the corner of the room because they really shit out. And it was midday, and I wake up to hearing a very loud bang on the door. Now, everything in my dream was visualized, like very vividly. It was midday, very clear. Everything in the hallway was exactly where it was before I fell asleep, as it would be in my dream, as if I was actually walking through my house, walking down the hallway. Now, mind you, it's not this house, or this apartment, actually. It was another place. But anyway, I go to the door, and I look, and there's a window on the side, so I can see who might be out there. And I look over there, and it's this shapeless black cloud, or there's something very ghastly. Before I can react, it busts open the door and it tries to grab me and take me away. And I felt so weak trying to fight against this thing, but I was still trying to fight, and I managed to wrestle it off of me, close the door, and my very first instinct was to go to my mom, wake her up, and try to get her out of the house, away from this thing. But before I could do that, I hear the door bust open again. So before I can wake my mom up, my adrenaline is kicking, and I go right back to the living room. And at that point, everything goes black, and all I can see in my dream is a little bin that we keep my dad's canes in, because my dad always had a cane. And I pick up this really old cane that he used to have. It was all wooden. I can't really describe it other than it was long, wooden, tan colored, and where the curve was, there was another thing sticking out of it, like a spike or whatever. It was kind of out of the way of the curve, but still. And to some degree, it was significant. Maybe to the dream, maybe not. But, oh, hold on. I'm kind of missing a few things that you need to know. Before I noticed the gas creature, the very first time I went out there and looked out the window, the very first thing I noticed before the shapeless cloud was a veil over our line of roses. Because outside our house we have a bed of roses that lead up the walkway. And there was a veil set over them that was hung by nothing. It was just hanging there, still, not moving at all. And outside what looked like a blue truck, but all I could see was the bed of the truck. That's all I saw. And it looked like it was smashed into our garage. So, it was a veil over roses and the bed of a truck. It looked like it was smashed into our garage. And then I noticed the gas creature. Now, moving forward, I grabbed my dad's cane and I chased after this creature. And then the very last thing that happens is I put the cane back and everything goes back to the way it was. I brought this dream to my therapist because I knew this dream had some significance to me. I wasn't sure what it was. But he pointed out the things for me to take a look at. The creature, my instinct to protect my mom, the bed of the truck, and the veil suspended over roses. This dream was pointing to a funeral. It was a funeral to a part of me that was very ugly. Part of me that is willing to lash out and attack. As most of you know me, I'm very willing to go for the jugular when someone causes offense, but I used to be more tenacious than I am. And I used to not accept if I am wrong. Now I do. If someone, shows me that my actions are not in the right, I can accept it and better myself from it. So that was just, for lack of anything better to say, it was the death of my dark side. Or at least a taming of it, chasing it away. This dream, while disturbing and scary, was very significant to me, and I'm never gonna forget it. And I'm gonna end this with a very nice dream I had one time that had me waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning crying. And I actually wrote a poem about this once, and maybe I'll share it. In my dream, I was a little older than I was then. I was probably about 16, 17 years old. I was in that dream as old as I am now, which is 20. I was hanging out with my family at the old house outside on the lawn, and I decided to go back inside the house and to get a drink. And when I went back in, there was my dad, my deceased father. And before I could make any reaction at all, he gets me into his arms and holds me. And tells me he's sorry. And I woke up crying. And I felt like I knew what he was saying. And he was saying sorry he's not there for me right now, not saying sorry that he can't see me and see me grow up, because he one day said that he wanted to see me go to college and graduate and become a better man. And he's sorry he can't see that because he passed away before he could. I have a lot of regrets before he died, even though I was able to tell him that I love him before he died, but we fought a lot because his medication really messed him up. And I better stop this before I start crying.